All right, for those of you committed to waiting till November 1st to turn the heat on, just over a week, this weekend's going to be a real test of that, though.
That's a real commitment.
Right?
Yeah,
A lot of people do it.
The dynamics of it don't work. Like, unless you live on the second or third floor, like, your house is just gonna be cold, right?
That's
I
true.
know there are people wrapped up right now saying,
I know.
not doing it until November.
I've always been very clear on this. If it's a matter of cost, I understand. If it's a matter of pride,
Principle, right.
forget it.
Move
like
on,
that's
turn
just,
the heat on,
it's just like it's just not worth it. But yeah, here we are. We're going to be in the 50s over the weekend, 40s in some cases for highs. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We've got the showers moving through right now. Relatively light stuff, pretty well placed by the models over central New Hampshire and western Maine. You can see they're kind of breaking up a bit as they move farther east. But those showers will stick around, it looks like, over the next few hours. So they're not driven by the sunlight. They're not diurnal showers. And so as a result of that, when the sun sets, they're still here, 8 o'clock into the mid-coast, midnight or so into Bangor, maybe even a little bit later. And then they're still around in the early morning hours over Washington and Hancock County. But generally, tomorrow is a mixture of sun and clouds, starting with more sun, ending with more clouds. And you can see those clouds develop later in the day, temperatures in the low 50s, 40s in the mountains. And then there's more clouds around by 4 o'clock. There is an isolated sprinkle there. I don't think there were many of those, so we didn't put it in the 7-day forecast. And I think most people will be fine here. We won't have any issues. It'll be cloudier and cooler, though, on Sunday, and a better chance of showers. And I'll tell you, Sunday, middle of the day here, 48, 47 in most spots. Mountains, 30s to around 40 degrees with some pop-up showers, maybe even some snowflakes above 3,000 feet or so. So it will be very cool on Sunday, especially with a lack of like appreciable long sunshine there. And then we're quiet for a couple of days. There's not a whole lot going on Monday and Tuesday. There's an outside chance of a shower, but once again, not enough to really be worth putting it in the 7-day forecast. Things get really interesting, though, by late next week because the European model and the GFS model have not agreed on what happens next week. And the Euro just continues to insist there's something on Thursday into Thursday night now. It's slowed it down a little bit. And that would be a period of heavy rain and probably some strong wind, according to the European model. But the GFS doesn't have it that way. If we zoom out, I can understand why. So the European model has a tropical system down here, a low out towards Toronto, and it connects those two. So tropical moisture comes into that low, and all of a sudden we've got 2 or 3 inches of rain and quite a bit of wind by the end of the week. The GFS has the same tropical system off screen here, but it doesn't have a low to connect to. So that moisture just goes right offshore and we end up dry. So the difference is actually pretty subtle at the synoptic level, but it's a huge difference for our forecast. So for now, I played it as rainy, but stay tuned on Thursday as to how this ends up playing. I'm hoping that they can come back together a little bit tomorrow because that would be nice. We'd be a closer range there. And that obviously will have implications for Friday morning too. I think, unless something really changes, around Halloween, actual trick-or-treating time, we should have whatever it is out of here. Okay. But I'd like to see a little more agreement. Until then, high of 50 pretty much, and then 30s overnight. There. Yeah.
If it knocks out power, that'll make for a really creepy Halloween.
That's in a way, I kind of dig it, but I also don't want to wish it on people. So you can always turn your lights off if you want to do that.
That's right. That's the energy you're going through. All right, Keith, thank you.